Ireland's really made to work. Not, I mean, obviously the half-time score was 17-0, so I mean, I guess you could say, oh, wasn't that hard, Adam, was it? But it was. It was a hard fought game, like in both halves. So, like, Wales really made it difficult for Ireland. What did you make of that game?
I think Wales have the ability to make games really difficult for teams, and I think it boils down to the fact that they are quite inconsistent in that, in the sense that they can make a game difficult for them, but they can't keep going with that and withstand the pressure to their opponents. And I think, as admirable as it can be for, to reduce Ireland to, I don't know, it's because Ireland are on such top form. 31 points against Wales is probably a lower score for them than people would expect. But as good a game as Wales can give a team, Ireland are just a completely different class anyway. So I think it kind of becomes a bit null and void in that sense, because, like I say, Ireland are just world class at the minute, and they literally can't be stopped.
They're relentless in what they do. We say it feels like every week on this show. Just relentless. The set piece is superb. The rolling mauler, we got that first try for Dan Sheehan. That's how many for him? I don't know. Yeah, he scored so many in an Ireland jersey in such a short length of time. But yeah, Wales. I thought Wales did well to disrupt their flow in the first half, because they didn't like. I mean, you look at the Italy game, and Ireland was just banging on the door. Mm-hmm. But I thought Wales, considering the youthfulness of their side, they really managed to disrupt their flow in the first half.
I think Wales tried to go for an approach of getting a few older players still involved in the squad. George North, Thomas Williams, although I don't think he had a great game at all at 9. I think he looked a bit lost. But I think they tried to get a bit more experience in there because Ireland is such a quality team. But it just goes to show that Ireland can, see past that and still convincingly win games as well. But I think it goes back to the whole thing of this is a massive transition period for Wales. So any game at the minute is going to be difficult, and so I think Gatland is just trying to find the best squad and how maybe the younger members of the team can learn from the older ones. But yeah,
I mean, it's unbelievable that Wales have been given. I mean, we've almost given Wales a pass for the 3, the home nations games. Because we're like, well, you're a young side. You can have that loss. You have that loss, which is fair given context. They got back in the game the second half, got that penalty try, and it looked like they were going to stick it on Ireland. But I in my personal opinion about you, I thought like in the England game a wee bit, and except for certain moments, they looked a wee bit, and in the first half of the Scotland game, I sort of saw the same patterns of them being a wee bit running out of ideas in attack when they got to the 22, or when they got through the phases. They seemed to run out of ideas, and maybe that's just Ireland's great, fantastic defence. It probably is something to do with that, of course.
No, not from a biased opinion. Or anything.
From that unbiased opinion of mine. But what do you think about their attack? Are they just sort of? I mean, they've sort of switched between fly halves. Sam Costello in the first half of the first game, and then switched to Ewan Lloyd for the second half, and then the England game, and then Sam Costello coming back in. Is that sort of disrupting their attacking flow, or is it just a young side sort of figuring everything out?
I think probably a bit of both. Yes, it is a young squad that is trying to figure out what the best way to attack is, along with working with different coaches for them, because, like you say, a lot of them coming into the squad very new, very fresh, so they'll have to get used to different ways of playing and different styles of play that the coaches will want. So I think that, like you say, it's a bit of both, and yeah, there's going to be teething problems for a while, and I think, like you say, it's weird because everyone's almost going, oh, it's all right, it's a new squad, and this and that, and almost giving Wales a free pass. But I think every Welsh fan knows that this isn't nearly the best that Wales can play. It's not where they know they'll be for a while, and you've got to go through the harder times to then come out the end of it and be potentially a world-class playing side. Yeah. So I think this tournament is a bit of a struggle for Wales, but it's also a good gauge of seeing where they need to be in the coming years. So.
Absolutely. I mean, that's been reiterated by many members of the squad, Tommy Raphael, David Jenkins, have all sort of said we are not anywhere near where our performance levels could be, and we're still pushing these sides. So I think it's really exciting if you're a Wales fan, even though it's very humbling getting these defeats. But there's cause for optimism. They've got France coming up next. It's Principality. In terms of Ireland, or in terms of the performances in the game, I thought the two fullbacks were fantastic on either side. Cameron Winnett, I mean, that's 3 games he's had in a Wales shirt now. He's just unbelievable under the high ball, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been really impressive this tournament. Someone that I've been keeping a closer eye on compared to others, but no, he's seemed quite natural at the back. Sometimes he's been a bit erratic and a bit panicked, but I mean, what do you expect from someone in their early 20s, really?
Well, I personally think like he seems for the lads. I think he's 21, 22, and he plays like he's a 29-year-old who's got about 100 caps for Wales.
Yeah.
You know, he's really composed. Fantastic bit on him. Great under the high ball, as I say, and he really adds a bit of dynamism to that Welsh backline. Kieran Frawley, I thought on the Ireland side was he had a solid game, scored that try obviously. I thought you didn't notice Hugo Keenan wasn't there, which is like the biggest compliment I could pay to Kieran Frawley. And the Irish backline was just fantastic again.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Frawley's contribution in that game. I mean, he finished off. It was the final try, I think, wasn't it? Third try. Yeah. He finished that one off really well. But no, Ireland they're just so good. Like it's.
Also, I can't as an Ulster fan, I can't take credit for it. It's the majority of it is the Leinster.
the Leinster side, yeah. But it's nice to watch though as well. I mean, I know there's not many English fans who necessarily hate the Irish, but I think everybody can kind of sit back, no matter who you support, and go, God, this is good rugby. You
can appreciate the sort of professionalism and the sort of relentlessness of it. It's like it's something to hold, certainly for me anyway.
Yeah, totally.
Dan Sheehan, fantastic again. But in terms of the two sides, looking forward, we'll move on looking forward into the next couple of games. Ireland have England next at Twickenham. Do you think they can do the Grand Slam again?
Oh, 100%. I think they'll max point it as well.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question. Can they get it with all 5 bonus points?
Yeah, I think they'll. I mean, who have they got? They've got England and then Italy.
England and Scotland.
Oh, Scotland, yeah.
England at Twickenham and then Scotland at the Aviva on the final day.
I think they're getting 25 points as the max, isn't it? So
yes.
I think if there was going to be a team to do it, it's going to be this Ireland squad. They're electric. They've got great attacking prowess. They don't tend to kick the ball that much, which is actually really refreshing to see. And England have strayed away from that kicking tactic as well that they had with Eddie Jones. And so I think this Ireland squad is magic, and they'll go on to do great things continually in the future. But they'll get the full max points in Grand Slam.
Well, in my unbiased opinion, I tend to agree with you there, Ron. No, I think they've been fantastic in this tournament. Flawless, even if you could say that. Rarely put a foot wrong. Defence as solid as ever. Not Kieran Crowley, that's the former Italy coach. Jack Crowley came in at 10, and it's just like Johnny Sexton's never left. Like it's unbelievable, honestly. Isn't it? And so I also think that they're going to do it on full points, which is quite an exciting thing to see, especially with that Ireland South Africa game coming into the summer. I mean, you've got South Africa, obviously back-to-back World Cup champions. You got Ireland back-to-back Grand Slam winners. Who's to say which is more impressive? I know Luke would be screaming.
Luke would be screaming.
He'll be screaming at his wherever he's watching this. If he is watching this right now, he'll be screaming. But that's really exciting going into the summer. In terms of Wales, though, they've got France and Italy to come up. They've got France coming up on Sunday, the 10th of March. At the Principality, which I'm going to, by the way.
Oh, very nice.
Very, very much looking forward to it. I'm actually going to the Italy game as well. I need to stop spending. I need to stop spending so much money. It's the fact I'm a fresher. It's going straight to my head.
Oh, enjoy it while you can.
Enjoy it while I can, I suppose. Yeah. So moving forward for Wales, what do you expect for those last 2 games? They lost their first 3, but they've got 3 points all the same, and they're not bottom. They're second bottom. They're somehow still above Italy. even though Italy drew to France, obviously,
Yeah.
which we'll touch on. In terms of moving forward into that France game, France are a bit of a wounded animal at the minute. How do you see that game going, especially at home?
I think because of the performance that France put in last week, I know you said we'll touch on that, but I think based on how they performed against Italy, they'll have something to prove. They'll have, it was an embarrassing scoreline really for France to have a draw against one of the worst, regarded as one of the worst sides in European rugby, especially considering the other teams around. But I think again Wales will be definitely up for it, but by no means I don't think France can be ruled out at all. They can switch on their quality whenever they need it. I mean, they didn't do it at the weekend, granted, but I think despite missing people like Dupont and Tamac and now Dante as well because of his suspension, I think France will still be able to get the better of this young Welsh squad that they'll face next weekend. But yeah, I can't see it going any other way than to France.
No, France, yeah. And in terms of that last Italy game, how do you think Wales will they look for that? Do you think that's a must-win?
That
really,
yeah, that one's about pride, I think, more than anything. Because I mean, Italy are obviously the favourites year on year to get the wooden spoon, but I think Wales were far closer to those odds than they probably wanted to be, and now that it's becoming quite a realistic prospect, it's one, like I say, it's one that on the last game of this of the tournament they will want to win massively. So yeah, a lot riding on that for Wales, but equally a lot riding on it for Italy to prove that they deserve to be in the Six Nations and they are a top side in Europe. So
yeah, well that's the point really. And Wales and Italy, I guess, are both development sides, and I mean I guess Italy, you'd think, are a wee bit further on in their development project. Not that they're a better side, but they're further on in terms of they've been developing this particular team for many years.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a very new Welsh side. I think personally, I'm quite excited for that Wales-France game. I think people should keep an eye on that one really, because I think Wales can really do something, especially with the home crowd. I think if it was away from home, I'd fancy France absolutely, but I think this France side really looks really out your sorts.
they are quite shoddy.
And I think Warren Gatland, with his experience, he can maybe take advantage of that. So I'd actually expect a Wales win in that game, and then I think in the last game, I wouldn't be surprised to see
Italy get the better.
It could go either way, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if any game's going to go, yeah, not another one.
Even a draw, like 2 draws for Italy. I mean, they would take that. To be fair, I mean that might even leave France at the bottom of the table at that point. But yeah, that was our Ireland Wales review there.